Categories versus tags. Once upon a time, WordPress.com only provided a category option. Categories allowed for a broad grouping of post topics, but when you wanted to describe a post in more specific terms, more categories were required. That led to very long category lists inside the blog and very long lists in category widgets. So we now have tags too. Yeah! Tags are similar to categories, but they are generally used to describe your post in more detail. And you're like, what? Bam, bam, bada, bing, bam, boom. I don't understand anything, and that's fine. Categories and tags are just ways of grouping posts that have something in common, right? So if we go to my Grumo Media site, you can see all the categories here if you scroll down. So I decided to break the post into groomers, Groomy Fire, Groomo Course, anything that has something in common, I categorize. But tags are more specific to a specific posts. It's not to a group of posts, but to a specific post in general. So in particular, right? So actually, I have a tag cloud right there. This is one of the widgets that you can install in WordPress, and these are, the bigger it is that the more related posts have that tag, right? So all of this, anything that has to do with Ashton Kutcher, I give it the Ashton Kutcher tag, and basically it's easier to find those posts because they all have something in common, right? So they're very similar, but like I say, categories are for broader sections of your website, and tags are for particular things that your post has, right? So if you're talking about, I don't know, Apple and an iPad in just that post, you probably want to give that post that tag, and maybe the category is Apple products, but the tag is iPad or something like that, right? And how do you add them? All right, so if we go to a post here, all our posts, we have just a couple of them, and click my first video. On the right hand side, you can see categories and tags. Right now, by default, there's no categories, so you have to add one, and you could say, well, Apple products, since we were talking about that, and just add it, and just get rid of the uncategorized. And you can also, like, for example, if you wanna talk about something particular inside the Apple products, right, then you can do that, right? Or you can add another one. I don't know which this website is going to be about. Well, it's called All Page, so we're going to talk about startups maybe, right? So another one. So this has to do about startups. Now I want you to make sure you remember something. Post and categories only apply, categories and tags only apply to posts, not to pages. Pages cannot have categories or tags, right? Just posts. And tags, well, imagine we're talking about, I don't know, Cupertino for some reason, or Steve Jobs. So you can just start adding tags here and add them. Oh, sorry. Oops. I think I added. Well, that's great. I made a mistake, but let's just add the tags here. Steve Jobs and what else did we say? Cupertino. That's where the Apple headquarters are, in Palo Alto. Okay, so we have those two tags, and then I added some stuff there. I made a mistake, right? So anyways, what we can do is go to categories, and we can edit them or add more in here, right? So for example, I'm like, I didn't want to add these two categories, so let me just delete them. Go to bulk actions, delete, apply, and those two unwanted categories will be deleted, and we can do the same thing for post tags. Right now I don't see any post tags right there, but there should be some. I don't know where they are, but anyways, your post tags will appear here and you can edit them as well. So if you go to posts, and we can also edit categories and tags if we click edit, and you can see here really quickly that, let me just delete this post seems to be duplicated for some reason. We can see that that's still, I guess I didn't save it. That's why I didn't save it. That's why. But you can add the tags here as well if you wanted to. Steve jobs, Cupertino, iPad. That's good. And then just go update. Now we have those tags as well. If we go back to tags, it should be there. Yeah, they're there. And that's what you do. That's the difference between categories and tags. Thanks for watching.